Well, it's based on the writings of Gene Shepherd, and basically what he did is he took a number of his short stories and wove together a story about Christmas time and growing up in the Midwest in the late 30s, and his quest for the ultimate Christmas gift, which is the Red Ryder BB gun. Well, the basic story and premise are the same in the stage version. It's actually a stage adaptation of the movie. However, I mean, obviously live theater is more immediate, and I think just much more, it's just more fun. The kids being real kids, they've added an element of budding romance between Ralphie and Esther Jane, and another young girl role, which is just tremendous. So those are added. I mean, the kids are in the movie, but really the only kids that are featured are the friends of Ralphie and of course Randy. And in this, it's a little bit more fleshed out. There are some things you won't see, particularly in the stage version. You won't see the Christmas dinner at the chop suey joint, but you'll see lots of other things which will evoke memories of the movie. And as I said, it is a delight to experience it firsthand. Well, I think the universal appeal is because it's the holidays. And we've always, no matter what holiday you celebrate, there's always just a great sort of coming together of family and friends and community. And always there's that one thing, whether it's the thing you want for your birthday or some sort of special gift that you've always wanted, that you've always dreamed of, and if you just, your life would be complete if you got this one thing. And we've all had that. And so, and we have it today, whether now it could be an iPhone or something, whatever the latest gadget is that everybody must have. But it's really about, coming of age and growing and being a part of not only of your family but of your community. And just I think it's just a loving embrace of humanity at this time, which I think we all feel. That's why holiday music makes us feel better. And we started earlier and earlier, don't we? We start the holidays now after Thanksgiving. And it used to be only after Halloween. It used to be only after Thanksgiving. So, I mean, I think that it's an interesting point that you bring up, because it does take place in the late 30s. So, but the generation that lived through that time now has had children who have had children, and they grew up on the movie in the 80s. And so, and new people coming to experience it, be it kids of a certain age or families that have never been exposed to it, will still get, a kind of familiarity to it, a comfort that is just like, oh yes, well this is like, whether it's your family directly or just how you remember it. It's like seeing a Norman Rockwell painting and going, well, that's Americana. And it's sort of that. I think the only, when I first read the script, I hadn't seen the movie before. I was probably the only person in America who has not seen that movie. So I fell in love just with the script. And then when I did see the movie and talk to people about the movie, I think the big thing is to not try and recreate the movie on stage, to evoke the sense of the movie, and by that I mean the story of the movie, without trying to copy it. And then, so you take that one part, and then the other thing is to bring to bear what live theater does best, which is the immediacy I talked about, but also the use of the audience's imagination in filling in the gaps. You're not going to see a real house. You're going to have to use part of your imagination to make it up. And then once you're actively engaged on that level, anything is possible in theater. Unless I show it to you and give it to you in a movie, you may say, well, yeah, but did it really happen? But on stage, if you create a kind of a nurturing, supporting, creative environment where everybody is using their imagination and, you know, filling in the blanks, if you will, then anything is possible. And that's what I think the play does best. So. Well, this cast, and the young people in particular, have to do a tremendous amount of work in a very short amount of time. And it's all around the holidays when, you know, I'm just here directing. That's all I do. And my adult professional actors, they come in and they have the job to do, and their job to do is the play. But these young actors have the job to do with play. They have school, and school around this time means tests and all that stuff that's the end of semester. And they have families, so they have family obligations and things like that. So they have to really work extra hard outside of rehearsal in order to progress. And these actors in particular are just amazing, and they bring an energy which is it's palpable in the rehearsal, and it's also infectious. So we all, you know, the adults and I will work during the day when the kids are at school, and then the kids will come to us in the afternoon and early evening, and we're re-energized. You know, you have to be, you know, at your most present in order to work with the young actors, because they have incredible instincts, and they're encouraged in our rehearsal to, you know, to follow them and create along with the actors. So I mean, the adult actors. So I think I love directing young actors and working with young people, and I don't really treat them any differently than I do the adult actors. It changes. It changes every time I've done it, based on the collaboration with the cast. And this cast in particular, because this is an entirely new cast. In other productions, I maybe have had one person come along and recreate a role. But this is a totally different group. So what they bring, their ideas and energy, is really very different. And so there are a number of things that we've created just on the spot, which I'm very excited about, which if I wind up doing the show again, I will hope to use, because they've come up with some really fantastic, things. So, I mean, the structure of the play is the same. I mean, it's the play. And certainly my concept of it and the way I use the set is similar. But that's really the only thing that I you know, I know B comes after A and C comes after B. But other than that, I mean, within the parameters of the scene and what the actors bring, it's a different production. I think that they will hopefully all reminisce and talk about holidays past and things that they had forgotten, that they really, I remember a time when I was, and I wanted nothing more than this, and I remember my best friend back then who was, you know, always getting me into trouble, and I remember the time that we went and got the Christmas tree or the holiday whatever. I think that it allows, as you mentioned earlier, it's a memory play. It's a memoir. It's a reminiscence, and I think that it encourages all to sort of remember, and then hopefully generations, like parents will share with children, and grandparents will share with, you know, their grandchildren about, well, in my day, and I do remember the BB gun, and, you know, I do remember growing up, and you know, my mom saying, you know, you'll shoot your eye out, and I couldn't get a BB gun. Well, I don't know that that necessarily applies right now today. I mean, I'm sure that there are mothers who say, yes, you will shoot your eye out. But BB guns aren't really in the front of, you know. But there are other things that are equally, you know, we have to work around in order to get. So I think it will enable people to really share among their family, and I mean family, immediate family, extended family, and then the family, the community that's our family. I think you should come and see it. and it's great for. Here's what I love about the play. It's great for young people, probably 6 on up if they can. If they're at home watching the movie, and most of them do, they will find this incredibly entertaining. It moves very quickly. And then here's the other thing. It's the great show for, and let me just paint with a broad brushstroke, the guys who don't want to come and see theater, who say, oh, honey, you go, because, this is the play to come see. Because they've all, they've seen, the one about the BB gun? I'll come and see it. And then they'll come to it, and they'll have a great theater experience, and then they will come to more theater, which is ultimately what we're all about.